us.
Interview you. All right, what's your name?
My name is Christian.
Your name?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So
We are here with Sentience.
yes, Sentience.
Yes.
I am the guitar player. Braden's the drummer, and Christian is the potential bass player, huh?
Yeah.
If he shows up.
Yeah.
Not kidding. He actually just started playing bass too.
Really?
He's made a lot of progress.
How long you been playing for now?
I started in October, right? No, earlier than that, probably August. Yeah, probably about August.
Yeah, on a 4-string. I gave him my 5-string. Fender Squire. It's not too bad. They're better than the guitar Squires. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The bass ones aren't too bad. I hated my Fender Squire I had. That was a guitar, but
You must have been practicing your ass off here lately.
Yeah, I've been trying to. It's I mean, when you haven't played at all and then you go straight to what we play,
Yeah.
is it's a little bit of a learning curve.
trying to get him just to do the like starting off on just doing like at least like the snare and hi-hat like 8th note patterns, you know what I mean, working up to the 16ths a little bit, get him to use 3 fingers instead of 2, you know, just the groundwork for it, the most basic thump that you need from a bass, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going pretty
So you guys like writing and stuff, or you just kind of vibing right now?
We're starting to write again. We wrote some last practice.
Hell yeah, we started one song. We got intro, verse down.
Yeah. I might change I can't remember which part I was going to change. I was going to change one of the parts already, but it was fun because we wrote. We have an album down, like written.
Yeah, we've
been
had it for
recording
like 2 years.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
Kind of like,
since-
like drafts, kind of like you
Yeah.
have the idea there. It's just
yeah, we've kept changing some things, but at the same time, I've been trying to learn how to record, and we've changed some parts while we're recording.
I feel that
It's like-
entire pain. It's
yeah.
It's like this sounds good, and then you're like, a few months later, like, you know what? Maybe you go back and do this, and next thing it's like a never-ending, never-ending process.
Just a couple things, because like some things, especially you'll play them live and jam them, and like they will sound great in that context, but they do not sound good in a recording. We've noticed,
Or like vice versa. Something
yeah, it's kind of weird, like because you'll do like some organic like time change, tempo change, like pause or something, and it's like super off grid in comparison to like a recording. You know what I mean? And you try to like replicate it, and it's like it don't really sound that
Yeah, like
good.
probably the hardest thing to do is getting it to a grid.
Yeah.
Recording it.
Because I mean, I feel like we do play pretty tight, but at the same time, I like tempo changes a lot, and like I like parts that sound a little more random. Like a lot of bands I'm into do stuff like that, like Defeated Sanity and stuff, like just random tempos, and I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't.
It can be kind of a pain to get that like done in the DAW sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like a big fan. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Ginger, and they do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I try to write like that, and then it just
Well, and like it won't even be the whole part. Like most of the part will be pretty easy to do that, but we'll have like a turnaround or something that's just like a little off. Like and it might not even be off that much, but like that 8th note or 2 difference, it's like you just like plug in a random time signature in the middle of the grid. You know what I mean? To make it work or whatever. That's
Yeah, on one of our songs, he said that I played something like at the end of the song a little different. He was gonna come to the house and beat the. Can we cuss on that?
Yes.
no,
Yes.
it was
He wanted to come to my house and beat the fuck out of me.
It was a napkin. Well, because he like played to my scratch I had like done to the grid, but he was like improvising how he was like crashing and accenting and stuff. And oh my god, dude! Like sometimes I thought I would start because it's a really hard riff. I thought I was starting the sweep slate, but it was because he was like putting some crashes in the middle instead of the beginning, like he does throughout the rest of the song because it's the 3rd time it repeats. And holy fuck, dude. It was...
He loved it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he's saying.
I think I have it actually how it was supposed to sound. But it doesn't... I don't know, it sounds a little weird.
Would you say like sound-wise, is there a difference between what you guys are working on now and what you've done like in the past? Or is it just... Or you just kind of like trying to get more complex with it? Or is there a certain kind of like vibe?
It seems like every new song we do, it's harder than the song before. Like
It's
kind of like pushing yourself.
technique-wise, like
Yeah.
like I know that there's songs that Reese use like all the techniques that he knows how to use in one song, but
Same song, but yeah.
yeah, all in one song, yeah.
But that actually makes it... So what's weird is like once you can do it, it will make a song easier. and it's kind of weird to say, like maybe not like mentally easier, but like some of the songs where we just pick and just do 16th notes. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Just wear
Yeah,
you
but
out.
I mean, like that's the point of the technique, you know,
Yeah.
to make it easier to play, to master it, you know, and you apply it to what
Everything
you're
else.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's gotten a little bit more technical because like the second album, the hardest song is still on the second album,
Yeah.
but it's hard for like almost the wrong reasons. You know, it's like it's just super hard to land everything into that human condition. The song "Human Condition" is still just
Just like a
easily-
pain on the wrist.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
and the feet.
And it's a lot of changes, and it's a little overly long, and it uses a lot of riffs. Probably a little too many. Probably could have been like two separate ideas, and I don't know.
Nah, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
You
it's
like-
perfect.
Yeah, well, it almost goes into a different song. I mean, we like doing that. It's kind of like progressive metal idea. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever play it live again, but
Maybe it'd be hard to sing and play because I can sing and play all the third album songs except for a couple now, but I cannot sing and play Human Condition.
And I feel like some of the songs, some of the stuff that you've been doing, that I feel like you've been adding harder parts into the songs, and you just talk about progressing. You keep
Yeah.
progressing in the same song, so like it changes
Yeah.
so often because it just gets harder and harder and harder.
Well, I mean, the goal isn't to make it harder, but I feel like sometimes something just sounds. So like you'll make a part, right? The way we make parts, we'll jam out these parts like individually, and like everything in King 8 sounded super easy on its own.
yeah.
But then we start like stringing it together, and then it gets like stupid.
It's just like one of those
You know what I mean? It gets like stupid. It's like,
endurance-driven songs. You
Yeah.
know, it's probably the one that we'll always end with because, well, like we don't have anything left.
At the
Yeah.
same time, it grooves hard, and there is a lot of like. Sometimes I feel like it breathes a little bit more than some of the other ones, but at the same time, like we're always changing a syncopation or a groove, and I mean, I don't know. It's up there for sure. I don't know how to explain it because it does. I don't even feel like if you played it for someone, it would even sound easier than the rest of the set. But it just kind of sucks to play almost. I like it, but it sucks to play.
Yeah, and then Reese got the idea to make it longer by playing the
Oh.
chorus and the chorus and
The verse chorus again.
verse chorus again at the end. So
Yeah,
I mean, it was just like to the point where like,
Just to add on to the
oh
suck.
fuck, and then Reese was like, let's make it longer. Oh fuck.
Well, I don't know. It's just kind of what I'm into.
But it does. I like it. It sounds better with making it longer.
We used to repeat verse chorus like 3 times, I guess. I don't know how people break it down in other writing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, we try not to repeat something more than 2 or 3 times.
Like a different, little bit of normal song structure.
Yeah, because we like there's bands I love. Like I like Dream Theater, but sometimes they play the chorus way too many times, and it's like this song's 15 minutes, but the chorus is played 8 times.
It's,
you know?
yeah, it's like,
It's like I would love it if the song just took the chorus out a couple times, because then they have these like it's like almost every Dream Theater song. I love the first 2/3, and then the last third is just them repeating some of that stuff just to make it
Yeah.
their signature
Just to put you
15
to sleep,
minutes.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, and am I yelling too much?
no, you're good.
Okay, I was just making sure I wasn't yelling too
Yeah,
much.
turn his mic off.
I mean, I know I'm yelling a lot, but
Reese, you don't have to yell.
You got a microphone, brother.
I just turned the speaker down that way we don't get any
I was making sure
feedback.
that wasn't my line.
Which color am I?
Oh,
Check. Hello? I'm purple.
All right.
I'm not sure. You're something. You are
Check.
the third one.
Checkaroo.
You're the third one. You're not very.
I didn't remember
loud.
giving that template the
I
colors.
gotta
I think it was
scream.
just automatically assigned.
This scroll's kind of weird.
Oh, there I am.
Either way.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
damn. That's one thing I was gonna ask. So, like, I always start off with this one. I normally like to wait, but show-wise, right?
Yeah,
Is
If you
that
guys
you?
had like,
You can't mute that.
I will mute that.
Go ahead.
thanks,
You're
asshole.
ruining it.
So disrespectful.
You're trying to give me a present. Okay.
Over the phone.
Yeah, trying to give me a present over the phone. It's an NFT.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
A little bit of meme coin?
NFTs. I like how
Yeah.
quickly those die.
Right.
It's your
We were
dad's
talking
spread
about
open.
I remember sitting on. It's like, do you want to buy an NFT?
I'm
at
just
your
like,
show?
bro.
I was like, fuck off. An NFT.
Slipknot asked you personally
No.
to buy one.
We were actually in line for shirts, and like I think a certain shirt ran out, and they said something about an NFT. The lady at the booth, and I was like, no.
The second I hear the words NFT, my mind
Corey
just.
Taylor. Is Reese Wagner here in the crowd? I got something to sell you.
No kidding. It was.
He's the only one dumb enough to buy this.
Maybe a little like
Anybody.
maybe like one of them. What is that? The little figures, like
Like
Skylanders or something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
He
Yeah.
sells you Skylanders.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
Corey Taylor Skylander.
That'll be $25,000.
No, it was something stupid. It wasn't cheap either when they were doing the year that NFTs lasted. They
And he
lasted
bought it.
long.
He bought 2.
Not even kind of. About 5.
So, that's what I was gonna get into. So, you guys played a lot of shows. Is there like a really memorable show you've done? Maybe somewhere where like you said something crazy happened. Maybe somebody got like absolutely obliterated in the pit or something.
We've had a couple. So-
There was one where Ryan invited everyone on stage.
Lawton.
Yeah, it was probably our best show, but he was in his underwear.
And,
His mom got upset about that, so we had to delete that.
it was cool
But
because
it wasn't like it was like boxer briefs.
In the
It looked
band
like
Death
these
Sentience.
little shorts, and there was people on stage. And then what I didn't like is I was drumming, and there's people standing right there watching me drum.
Oh yeah, that's
And
kind
I'm
of.
just like,
but it was good. I thought
okay, guys, go.
it got a lot of views pretty quick though. And I really wish we could have kept it up. That was like our best performing video,
Yeah.
but Ryan's like, my mom just needs us to take it down.
That almost sounds like something you see like on like a TikTok a lot with like all these hardcore bands, and there's always people on the stage, and I'm like, how do you deal with that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It can be a mess.
Some just getting like kicked into the drum set in the middle of the song, and they just get up and they're like, it's still going. I'm like,
You say
okay.
that it's better than like the whole Elks Lodge situation where like everyone's just like staring at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad wanted me to play for his birthday at the Elks Lodge, so I was like, well, let's play like 4 instrumental versions of our songs.
He
And
didn't sing, so we figured it'd be okay. No, it wasn't.
they hated it.
Is it too
They-
intense?
they-
Too intense?
Oh my god.
It's too loud. Why is he screaming? Why is he so angry?
Every song, his dad told the sound guy to turn us down because people were complaining.
Who would have known that at the Elks Lodge they wouldn't like this
like
genre?
that.
Hey,
Never done it.
we've had pretty good luck with like places we thought wouldn't be receptive, then were receptive, but not those.
Some nursing homes.
They did,
Yeah,
I
right.
did say to him, I was like, Golden Oaks is next.
Oh yeah,
Taking
definitely.
it on the road, go to Golden Oaks.
Going big.
during bingo.
See like 13 old people in wheelchairs and like starting to pit,
Yeah.
just running into each
They
other.
cut the power off, so we have to stop.
Oh yeah, you trying to lower it?
I was trying to lean back. I feel like I'm
It's the handle right there.
the handle.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Might have to might have to scoot in a little
A
bit.
spike comes out.
So you're still in frame.
Let me make sure you're still in frame real quick. Maybe. I'll scoot forward in front of Braden.
He hadn't been in the frame at all.
No one needs to see Braden.
Oh, sure.
You sure?
Spike comes out, stabs Reese.
Yeah.
He has to finish it. He's a little pale.
Well, some of my favorite shows were those 89th Street shows.
There's one we played at Badass Renee's a lot, and some guy chipped his tooth, and then
That was
They were awesome.
Badass Renee's was actually pretty fun.
Chipped
for a
his
while. They always
tooth.
Get good
Yeah.
bands and stuff, but then like there towards the end, I
but
mean,
it's in Tulsa, so it's quite a drive for 8 people.
well, if it sucks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there were a couple times Badass Renee's was really good. Like the time we played with Gadget Sons and Hybrid Sons. which is
Yeah,
the
well,
one
they're
we were
from
talking about.
Tulsa. They're from Tulsa, so they had a crowd. But
Yeah. Well, we had a couple other good shows there too. I just can't remember who they're with. That one with Bermuda County and
yeah, that was the last show we did.
well, I'm
wasn't
talking about that one in Tulsa. The first. Well, I think that might have been with Alex though. I don't know if you were drumming for us yet. Because we had a really good show in good show at Badass Renee's, and some of the other ones were just not.
it? Yeah,
It's not the same.
Basically band practice, but at a different location.
Yeah, I mean, that Badass Renee's doesn't really pay, but like maybe $100.
Yeah,
It's not.
I think they still owe us $20.
I was like, I'm not going to Tulsa
Yeah.
to get $20.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the spot's always been the best for that. The spot.
yeah, it has.
When Tim was like, told me the deal, I was like, well, shit, we'll just play the spot every
Yeah,
time.
and then
Yeah, shout out to
sold
Tim,
it.
man. He did a lot for
Yeah, he did, and then he
Tim's
sold
cool.
it to. It's a sports bar or something
But
now.
you might be watching this out there in Texas.
Yeah,
You know?
I like Tim.
Mhm.
I've never had a problem with Tim at all. Actually, he's When I say that, I shouldn't preface it with I've never had a problem with him. I've always just liked Tim in general. He was trying to
He had a
like.
crush on him. I
He can be a
think.
shit talker. That's for damn sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he can be. I know there's people that don't mind him. I mean, that don't care for him. Is what I
Yeah.
should say, but
Yeah.
I'm not.
Not
in
you.
that
You're
group
in
of
love with
people
him.
yet.
Yep.
I am in love with him. On that couch in the back, you know what I'm saying?
You got that casting couch back there.
Everyone already knows he's taking people to it, so.
Yeah, there's a.
why'd you look at me?
I just kind of flashback. I was like, yeah.
This was one of them.
I just some of those stories, man. I just flashback. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
Fucking
I missed
A.
the old spot, dude. The old spot was the spot to go for stuff like that. I mean, they did everything, all kinds, different types of music and everything like that. It's just, I don't know how it is now. It might be,
It's they're trying to keep it. You know, it's definitely a bit of a crowd change, but
yeah.
you know,
When Ryan was part of the band, before I came here, I went to one of their shows, and Ryan called me a pussy. I was sitting there having a drink, and I was just enjoying, watching my friends play, and then
come up.
yeah, he just said, "Hey, come up here." I'm like, "No, man, I'm having a drink," and he's like, "Pussy," and
the
I
magic
wanted,
words.
yeah, I wanted to leave.
No,
Wasn't
he
leave.
still stayed there. He still.
Yeah, I
come up
stayed.
that.
We had that time at the spot where people were throwing money at us.
Yeah,
What?
it was nice.
I don't even know who started that. It was like,
I
there's
think it was
actually a
Faith
picture
Small.
of my Faith, yeah, because someone like, it's like this group mentality. Like someone threw like tips at us, and a bunch of people threw some tips at us.
Chucking quarters at you.
Yes.
And how does that make you
Gold
feel?
quarters.
It was kind of cool. There was a
Yeah.
girl that like shoved $1 in my collar of my
Butt,
shirt.
yeah.
There's a picture on Facebook. I had a profile picture of like $1 sticking out of my collar. But like, I don't know, because I haven't ever seen anyone do that at a show. But like, Face Mom was one of the people that tried to get people going.
Yeah, she'd go to every show. It was nice.
Yeah, and she
She'd bring a whole crew with her.
Oh,
yeah, Faith was pretty good at bringing all her friends and her family and stuff, And yeah, I mean, kind of miss Faith. She's had more things. She's been living in Oklahoma City though, so it just kind of got to where she was.
life kind of took over.
Yeah, she was fading off a little bit. She wanted to do a little bit more stuff with her girlfriend in OKC. You know what I mean? So she decided it was her time to do something else.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think everything like comes to that point eventually, or something like that.
yeah, Ryan's the same way.
Well, man, I like 15 questions written down, and I forgot all of them, like a noob.
We get the list. Where's the list?
My list is on the phone that's recording, so and that's why I realized that when I was recording, I was like, oh shit, I can't. All right, that's a lesson learned, not to do that one. Make it separate.
Yeah, I got a notebook for work. I write everything down in a notebook. I got tired of notes on my phone because like my battery just be dead by the end of the day.
Just a notebook full of just the most beautiful, poignant lyrics that you have ever read.
Oh,
Then he burns them.
Mm-hmm.
we
talking
could
about-
tell us some lyrics. There.
Booze and Cruise. Their Time to Booze and Cruise is one of our songs.
That
And
one.
he talks about like no bodies are gonna or cadavers are gonna stand in my
Oh,
way
no,
to
no.
get to karaoke.
Crosswalk, a catastrophe at 3 o'clock or what? I don't know.
Yeah, and then he talks about the drunk guy gets to the bar, the waitress won't serve him, so he curb stomps her teeth out and serves himself.
I actually like that. That's savage.
It's
I like that one.
it's kind of like semi-satire, you know what I mean? It's a little over the top on purpose. Some guy who's obviously just a terrible person who just starts drinking a gallon of vodka like as soon as he wakes up is what it's about.
And then he
noon.
wants to get to karaoke at noon.
Yes.
It's about Reese.
No, it's not about me. I haven't drank anything. What are you talking about? Never drank before in my life. I don't know about that. I really haven't drank a lot lately. The reason I was going to say earlier, the reason we kind of taken a break from shows, other than like we had 2 people leave and kind of been adjusting what we're going to do next. I had a kid and we're recording. And it's just been kind of a lot on our plate to like play a show lately.
Yeah, that's understandable.
At least my plate anyway, and trying to get everything done. And I mean, it's getting to where we can though. I mean, we did that Elk show without.
Which was a success, huge success. We'll
Yeah,
probably
huge
be invited back.
I mean, but like it was like we were actually able to organize, play a show. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit easier now that my son's a little bit older. You know what I mean? You can take him to my mom's. He's not like.
Yeah, he's old
Yeah.
enough to watch himself now, so
Cool.
But I mean, it's I don't know. It's been a work in progress. I mean, if I have another one, there's probably another 2 years before we play a show or something. But it's just been part of it.
So, Um, that's one thing I did want to ask. Not, it's completely not even related to that. So like, influence wise, or like how for all of you, like, influence wise, and like how did you kind of come to the place you are when it comes to like your musical styles and what you kind of like to do? I guess you know.
They are a little bit different than me. He's similar, more similar. He's a lot more into metalcore. I know that much.
Yeah, I am. I do. I love it. I got, well, and then also I got an Ice Nine Kill shirt underneath this. I love
Yeah.
them.
Hell yeah.
I was probably the only one into death metal before it, but I remember I met Braden at that guitar club. But then we were at a party.
They fell in love.
Mutual friends party. I got invited to like it was a couple of college friends just like hanging out. You know what I mean? Just drinking a little bit. And he was there, and he was talking about how Joey Jordison was the fastest drummer ever or something.
Yeah,
At the time.
at the time.
At the time, that's what he thought.
fastest that I thought. And,
And
boy, was I wrong.
I can't remember if I was listening to Cattle Decapitation at the time or Origin. One of the two. I had shown him I think I showed him John Longstreth from Origin, and it just like blew his little mind.
Yeah, my little mind was blown. Couldn't believe it.
I mean, John. I feel like Origin. It may not. I mean, I do love Origin. Their last album was a little but like, I think they might have the biggest influence on us. It's not what I'm always listening to, but like that is like I do like how they push all their instruments to the extreme, and they have a lot of different part changes and like time changes. And I would say them and Archspire are definitely probably what I think about the most. Because like he changed his foot technique to do the double stroke rolls.
Yeah,
and
the heel
everything.
toe. I learned from watching John videos of him explaining it and stuff.
Yeah, and Origin. I mean, I wish that you would think they'd be a bigger band. They've been around a long.
Where are they
time.
from? Because I've heard a little bit from them. They're American or are they?
They're from Kansas.
What?
Yeah, they're from Kansas. They're just right up. They're right up
Down
there,
the road.
north of that way, huh?
Yeah.
North.
That's north, yeah.
Yeah, north. But anyway, they're amazing though. They never. What's weird is they never play close to us, even though they're from Kansas.
We've seen them once. We saw them with Archspire actually.
And defeated Sanity.
Yeah, which
and
was
it was actually a
amazing
really good
show.
show. Discarnate and
I think that was the first
this
show
was
that
cool.
we went to together.
It was.
Reese has been probably 500 shows.
I do go a lot. I go a lot of
He
cheap
remembers
shows.
every single band that he's ever seen. It's very impressive.
And he's been kicked out of all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but Origin, that was a really cool show. It was in Tulsa, and there was like 5 local bands that opened up, which some of them were pretty good. Some of them were like, remember the drummer hitting the mic with his drumstick a lot. It was
such a weird angle that his snare was at.
Yeah, it was different. The openers were a little different, but then there was like Discarnate, Visceral Disgorge, that really progressive band. I cannot remember the name of.
This is all in Tulsa?
Yeah. It was a huge show. I mean, it was something Origin was trying to get going, like Devastation of the Nation or whatever they called it. You know,
I don't remember.
They had some I have
It's like traveling mini festival kind of thing or something like that.
Origin was trying to start it. It was supposed to be like a more like brutal death metal technical thing going on with like bands kind of in that vein, kind of progressive, but more so on the brutal side. And it was awesome. Archspire was amazing.
Yeah.
And Origin was amazing.
Yeah, we were like right there in front of Archspire, like right up against
before they like took off because they were kind of small when we saw them. And then they've taken off recently. They're probably the most popular.
How long have they been around? Because I think I just started hearing about them maybe like 2 years ago.
They haven't been around that long, but so I remember I was listening to Spawn of Possession, and I saw them as a recommended artist, and they only had that one. Well, they had 2 albums out. The other one they've taken down now, but a lot of the songs from that first album are on what shows up as their first album now. So there's basically just improved versions, and so. Been like 2015 or something when they came out, or 2014. They've probably been around like 10 years, if not a little bit longer. And I remember that first song. That was probably the last time I was impressed by music because I don't think I've heard many things more ridiculous than Archspire. Because I mean the vocals are fast, the drumming's fast. They have like the big girthy like breakdowns. They have the weird classical clean guitar sections. I mean.
A little bit of everything, but just in the right way, kind of.
Yes, they have.
Whenever we pulled up, we saw them loading in, and the lead lead singer was eating a bell pepper like an apple.
He was also running their merch booth, and he was doing like all their sounds and like
Yeah.
hookups. So he was doing all the
Yeah.
he was wiring everything up. The singer was. They hadn't even come out on stage yet, and the other guitar player came out and started helping them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that was definitely a huge one for us. Is definitely Archspire because I mean, the vocals. I mean, I had never heard anything like that because he layers exhales and inhales together to like have his own sound. So like when you listen to it, it kind of sounds a little off. It's because he's doing. I don't know why. It gives it a different sound, but he layers exhales over inhales.
So he's like doing his own production too.
Yeah, like he has a term for it. They have a nail in the mix where they show off all their stuff, but they're out there.
Show us, Reese.
Yeah.
You never listened to them?
I've seen like clips and stuff of them, but I don't know why. Like here lately, I've really been trying to venture out and like listen to more stuff that is like, I don't know, that I'm not used to listening to. So they're definitely someone I need to check out.
Probably.
Well, like I think the last 2 years I've just kind of like been stuck on like 2 bands for like I don't know why, but
Hey, I have phases where I like to listen to the same stuff and phases where I can't listen to anything that I like. I have to listen to random stuff.
yeah.
Like every time we go to a show, we listen to awful music like David Hasselhoff and Yoko Ono and what's the other one? Vetus. We had a playlist of just awful music that would just like cycle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, because like you get to play in a bunch of shows and you hear a lot of the same like breakdowns and slams.
Yeah,
and stuff.
and
You
it's
just want
kinda
to listen to something that's nonsense.
Something refreshing.
Yes.
A little palate cleanser.
Yeah.
It is a palate cleanser. 'Cause then
Yoko
he-
Ono as a palate cleanser.
But then you put on something else and it makes you appreciate how good it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're like, you listen to a girl make fly noises for 25 minutes. I mean, it makes everything sound good.
Yep.
I mean, fuck. Or I can't remember that one where she's like moaning and she starts screaming.
Yeah.
Were you listening to Yoko Ono when you hit that pig on the highway?
We were actually. We were listening to.
Smoked a pig.
We
Yeah.
did.
Without smoke?
We went to
Okay.
actually the only other interview we've done. We went to the city and we were listening to Yoko Ono Unfinished Music Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I remember because it was just John Lennon letting a guitar feedback into a microphone while Yoko is wailing into the microphone. Oh my gosh, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. And we were driving and this pig came out.
It was a nighttime too. We were
Yeah,
driving
we
home.
could not see the pig. It was
Yeah.
on 70. It was on 74, and the pig came out, and I swerved just enough so I wouldn't just like dead hit. You know what I
But
mean?
there,
It's a
there
pig.
was there was a car coming in the other lane, and then we were passing it, and it just missed us, and then into the other car.
Yeah, I clipped it. I clipped it back in
Yeah.
the pig. I thought it was gonna be worse. I was like, oh shit, that's a fucking.
You guys are all ending up safe though, right?
Yeah, we got home safe. That was pretty scary. That's probably the closest I've come to like a bad car. I know.
Yeah.
I've
I
been
felt
ice.
nothing though.
You felt-
Like I wasn't even scared. I was telling a story. I don't remember what it was, and then just
Wasn't it
Kept
about
going.
Chris Benoit?
No,
Probably was
the
sorry.
Chris Benoit story was whenever we almost jackknifed the trailer,
I don't even remember that, to be honest with you.
and then Ryan's like, oh, my heart, and I'm just anyway. Chris Benoit, I think he was murdered.
And then and then you guys go to a death metal show, and he's just, oh, I thought I was gonna die.
Oh.
The pig was pretty scary though. We clipped it.
Yeah, and then we pulled over. There wasn't any damage. We looked to see if there's any damage.
Yeah, there was a little dent. I saw it in the daytime. There's a little dent from the back end of the pig.
I feel like I would have been tempted to just go back there and take him with me. Make some bacon.
Yeah.
I'm just-
That was, yeah. That's I guess I say that's the only time I got close. I slipped on ice going to work one time doing 75 on I-35.
That sounds scary.
That's probably the scariest I've been to dying, but like I just braked as slowly as I could and just tried to hold the steering wheel like in a consistent, like not off the road direction.
Yeah.
We got
Sorry to the family he ran off the road and killed, but
I did not. There wasn't anyone else on the road. No one was as dumb as us.
Nobody can prove that happened.
We're going to like.
I did not.
Blackwell
I
at
did
6
not.
a.m. There was a semi that tipped over behind us because the plumbers they couldn't go to Blackwell because the semi tipped over in the same spot.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad.
Was this like a recent ice storm or?
yeah,
that would have
the
been
last
a year
one.
ago.
Oh,
Yeah, no, the last one they had us just stay home. We didn't go out
Yeah.
driving like that. You know, after
they didn't want to lose their precious Reese.
we did stay home. This
That
year.
money mine.
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah,
was good. I honestly I can't stand driving on ice, so I've
Uh,
learned my lesson because I've spun out on the ice,
yeah.
and I used to have this old like 1997 Toyota Tercel, this piece of crap, ball tires, and yeah, took a turn too hard and I did like a 360. Well, it was the middle of the night, so yeah, scary.
Dang, 360. Whoa.
Yeah, into a ditch.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta have a pretty heavy vehicle for it to even be worth it. Like weighted down.
For it to be worth it.
To be worth it. I don't know, dude. To like drive somewhere, like, cause like even like my truck, since it's rear wheel drive and has an empty bed, I mean it's gonna slide.
Can you give us the tag number?
How's my driving number?
22138. No, okay, whatever. I don't know what my tag number is. He's a chief of police over here. Yeah, I'm gonna rat him out.
Reese.
Reese in Hennessy.
And he lives at his socials.
All right, you can tell him that.
Yeah, just a social security number.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Nothing bad. They can't do anything with that. Just
Everything he's afraid of.
All right, you can tell him that too.
Oh.
Just have him put a list up right here.
all the fears. So man, I'm blanking out. So what? That's actually I wanted to ask something specifically for you. So, like, what's your like when it comes to drumming? Like, what is your like regiment like, or do you like do you do you practice things a certain way, or is it daily things? Is it just when you feel it's a set time, or
Yeah, how do you practice, Brady?
Yeah, it's not at all. And then
Yeah.
once a week.
Oh my gosh.
It's like before we practice. We usually practice Sunday at 11. So then at about 10, I'll play. I'll get warmed up, and then we'll run through the songs. So that's about all I practice. But I do when I listen to music, I do pretend that I'm playing the music. So,
Just
I think
in
that's
his
valid,
head.
actually.
yeah. So that
you really practice drums anywhere.
So it's kind of like practicing, but not really practicing. Like I'm practicing in my mind.
Yeah, I've had some long
Limbs.
practices, so I guess it kind of counts.
Yeah.
I guess if it's like 3 hours, it's like 3 days, huh? Not kidding. I practice just like an hour a day, just while watching TV at the end of the day, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's about it, though. And then practice at the end of the week. I mean, tracking, I would call that practice, but man, your hands get so cold in between takes sometimes. If you're trying to like move something around, you're like, well, crap, these drums got covered up a little bit. Then you gotta like move everything over and like drag out the.
Dude, oh yeah.
Yeah.
The pain. I understand that, dude.
Then you're like, if it's a hard part, you're like, well, fuck, man, I'm like all cold. Like I've been sitting here like trying to edit this for like 15 minutes.
And then after a while, like you just kind of go ear blind in a way. I think that's what happened to me.
Or at least I get to where I'm like, it feels like I should be playing a certain way, but I'm not. It's like I'm always shifted over like a quarter note. It's like, I just need to take a break, go outside, play with the dogs. Do something else for a second. Get like stuck.
That's honestly one of the best things, though. The best thing is honestly just to take a break,
Oh yeah.
because otherwise I'll end up rage deleting some shit and then being mad about it 2 days later. Like, why did I delete that?
Right. Oh yeah. Well, sometimes it doesn't sound good, but then you listen back later and it's fine. It's just because you're just like you're just looking at these sound waves like too much, just like giving yourself a headache. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like looking at these peaks and dives and like looking at this laptop too much. That kind of
Yeah.
kills me.
It's stressful for all of us when you do that.
It
Yeah,
really is.
I'm the only one doing it. Well, should have just made Braden do it. Braden does all the computer stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't.
He's a computer whiz.
I have my bachelor's in computer science, and I don't know anything about computer science. College is a scam. Look at me, man, right here on me. College is a scam.
Just need to tag Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, don't agree with me.
It kind of is. Ooh. Unless you're like going for something very specific, it is definitely.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
It's funny you say you went to school for computer science. So I literally just last year I finally decided to go for like IT just to get an AAS, and like I like what I'm learning, but like after like 2 terms I was like, dude, I'm not paying for this. Just because it was so expensive. It was so expensive for me. I was like, dude, like I'll wait till like I get like a different job or something that pays for it, and I'll do it that way or something like that. But.
Yeah, and there's always on-job training, and there's so many fields where there's like its own certification. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's not many jobs where it's like, do you have a bachelor's in historical art? You know what I mean? Do you have something arbitrary to show us to make sure that you can do this job. It's like, no, have you worked at another place like this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, sometimes school can count as that.
It's like something like a doctor or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I would,
Yeah.
you know.
But there's even like medical positions that don't necessarily require like college. They require like you to go to like some sort of archery class, and you go to this type of class. You know what I mean? Not necessarily going to like just like Northwestern or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, there are jobs you have to go to school, but there is way more, way more where you don't. So
Yeah.
You just got doctors and lawyers. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
About it.
Surgeons.
Yeah. People that just need to have that 8 or 9 years invested.
Otherwise, I'd be feel pretty sketched out in my office. It's like, you got an associate degree that does a doctor? I'm like,
Yeah.
you're gonna operate on my back? I'm like,
My associates in heart.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you know, I know that some people, I think back in the day, like for law school, you could go through an art degree all the way up to taking law school and just take law school.
Like probably just take the bar.
I didn't know that because I was going to go to law school. I should have just taken an art degree because
You wouldn't have made it.
My last class kind of broke me, that like 100-page social
Bro,
science.
look at my lawyer. I'm going to jail.
That's exactly what I think. If Reese came up and was,
There's a lawyer here in town that did that. Supposedly, I think it's what my dad's friends. Supposedly, that's what he did. I mean, no, it wasn't art. Sorry, it's PE.
It's worse.
PE. And when you learn to PE, he's like a jacked lawyer. He's like, trust me, you're not going to jail.
Trust me, bro.
The judge is scared.
I won't let them take you to jail.
Yeah, we'll play dodgeball.
Like, oh, sorry, bro.
We'll play dodgeball. If you win, you don't have to go to jail.
Oh, neighbor, sorry.
I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought something broke over there. I was like, what just happened?
I know, it's like he had some music playing. I was like,
Yeah.
notification.
Pop-up ad or something? Man. So, man, I feel like such an idiot because I should have wrote those questions down and the other thing. It's just like not there.
You could just pause, look at them.
I could. I should.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Leave me real quiet so there's like a big blank spot.
Tell us a story, Reese.
Drag it over.
Tell us a story.
Most embarrassing high school moment. I don't know.
Oh, I have plenty of those.
High school trauma? Any high school trauma? I
You
had
know,
high school
so
trauma.
here's a good one. When Braden
Cut his mic.
first joined the band, and we were like getting going, we were about to play our first show, and I can't wait. We need like some inspirational quotes while this is going.
Yeah, I got a whole list of your
Pause,
quotes.
though.
Oh, my quotes, those are even worse. But Braden was going to play our first show with us, and I remember we went to go practice before the show, like run through like a couple trouble songs, and he was like, I said, play Dracul or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And he was
I think
like,
that's what it was. Like,
song is
play,
that?
Play the.
He still does that now. He goes, how does it begin?
And I was like, oh my god! And then we got to the spot. It was where the first show we played with Braden, and I was like, let's just run through the verse so that Evil Never Dies. And he's like,
No, I think it was the chorus.
whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
dude,
whatever it
he
was.
could not like just play a part that we were talking
It's
about.
like every time I practice it, it's intro and playing it all the way through. Every time we practice it, it was from the beginning.
The sound guy was looking at us like,
My
what a bunch
brain.
of
Yeah,
what a bunch of fucking morons.
yeah,
their
but
own songs.
but
like,
we played it just fine.
no, it was a great show. That's what I was gonna get to. Like, I was so nervous because Braden didn't know the name of any songs on the set list.
He was so nervous because he thought Brady was gonna suck.
Yeah,
I was
and I
actually
didn't.
nervous that he was gonna suck
I
because
played perfect.
well, he did. He doesn't count. He doesn't like practice.
Yeah,
He
well, like when I
doesn't-
play, I don't count.
What?
I just
he like just knows where he's at somehow. So like he'd always be like, turn Ryan up all the way, so he could hear like vocal cues.
Yeah.
I don't know any drummers that listen to vocal cues.
Yeah,
It was weird. He's playing along to the guitars, but he's listening for lyrics. You know
He's
what I mean?
playing with his heart.
What the lyrics sound like. 'Cause
Yep.
He doesn't know any of the lyrics, and that was
was
very
like when
weird
I-
to get used to. Because our first drummer was like, I know how many times I played, and he was the guy leading the band. Now Braden's just like playing to us, which is it doesn't feel different now, but at the time it was different.
Yeah.
Because his parts were a lot.
Like when I'd practice to, the songs on Apple Music, and I could hear the lyrics better than I could the guitar, so that's what I went with.
Yeah, because the guitars are the same kind of the similar frequency where the vocals are like coming up.
Yeah, and I couldn't stand the guitarist.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I remember. I even know that the one who like hit you up and everything. And we had that little video we put up of "Evil Never Dies."
yeah,
Man, that's a long time ago now.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
2019.
I think our second show was 89th Street.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Our second show with him, anyway.
Yeah.
We had played at 89th Street once before, but it was like to open up for Devour the Day, if anyone remembers that band. They had like one radio hit a long time ago. And it was like us, Nevermind the Embers, and some other band. I don't remember.
I haven't been to 89th Street in like 5-6 years. I wanted to go there. I think it was like a month ago when it was the band Entheos was there. With Shani
actually,
Crab?
about the Born of Osiris show.
Yeah.
I thought about going to that because I love Entheos. Entheos is actually one of my favorites right now, like the newer bands I found, because I love how the syncopations they use and stuff. It kind of has like a technical death metal sound to it, but they use a lot more like rhythmic syncopations and grooves and stuff. And the girls' vocals are pretty badass. And I wanted to see them, but I don't really want to see Born of Osiris that much.
Well, I think maybe it was that same show or maybe it was a show that was before or after that was also at 89th. I think it was when what's his name? Adam Moore and the black dude. I can't really think of the name of his band right now. Whatever.
Oceano?
Oceano, yes. Yeah, Oceano. Oh, I wanted to check that out, but I was like, eh.
I've actually seen Oceano once.
Imagine that.
Actually, I might have seen it twice. Because I saw them at that, what did they call that?
I literally forgot they existed until like 6 months ago.
They're alright. I saw them live, and I saw them with too many deathcore bands back to back. It's actually, I was talking about this yesterday. It was like what broke me on deathcore for a while. I went to, that festival, Slaughter Fest or whatever it's called. They always have it in Texas, but like, I went to it, and there was like 8 deathcore bands back to back, and it was like all like tremolo chug breakdown.
Yeah.
Every song.
It burned you out really quick.
Oh my gosh! By the time we got to Oceano, I was over it. So
But was it catchy?
I guess.
Yeah,
But then,
that's right.
But the ending of that show was one of the best endings of a show ever. It was like Origin, Dying Fetus,
I
Black
gotta see
Dahlia
those guys one
Murder,
day.
and someone back to back. Just like 3 or 4 of the best bands I've ever seen live. Just like I think Carnifex maybe. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but
Have you guys seen that Louder Than Life lineup, that festival lineup?
I have seen it because you posted a lot.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a son, I'd probably go. That's like 4 days. I'd have. To
It is 4 days. I wasn't. I shouldn't even bought to put the tickets on Layaway, but I was like,
I'd
man.
have to find a babysitter to ship with me to go to it. You know, to stay in a hotel while we go to the festival. You know, I mean,
I saw a bunch of sick bands on there I wasn't expecting. Because I think Louder Than Life's only been around for I think 10 years or something like that.
who?
Louder Than Life, that festival.
Oh, I'm not actually sure.
And I was so disappointed with Rocklahoma lineup this year. I was like, bro,
I
that's
didn't
just.
like the Rocklahoma lineup at all. In fact, I remember there was a few good Rocklahoma lineups, and I feel like they've been kind of they've definitely been more geared towards the Jelly Roll Kid Rock fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think last year or maybe the year before they were through DWP, which is I think that's the people that run all the big festivals, and then this year they weren't, and I had a feeling the lineup was just gonna be dog water because of that, and I was like, yep.
They kind of reduced what happens in the campgrounds because there for a while you'd have a bunch of local stuff going on in the campgrounds.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I had the Proving Grounds or whatever it's called. I think.
And whatever TLP does, and the dark. It was the Dark Side stage actually, and I feel like most of that has been cut out. I know they do a little bit of it, but the first time I went to Rocklahoma, you'd wake up to you could hear someone
Setting
sound
up,
checking their
yeah.
kick. You know what I mean? Because there was literally all these
And
tents.
you wake up to that.
Yes, pretty much. There'd be tents all around this place set up for just local metal, local rock, whatever. And you could go to these tents, and it'd almost be better than going into the venue unless you just wanted to see a band in the venue. You could go around these to these different tents and just check out random things you never heard of before. You know what I mean? It's usually pretty good. I like that experience more than the last time I went, where it was everything's in the venue.
Yeah.
You have to wait in the line. And there was some good bands, but some of the bands I wanted to see dropped out. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah, that's what
They knew you were going to be there.
Limp Bizkit knew. I wanted to see Limp Bizkit.
Is Reese Wagner here? We're not
I got
playing.
NFTs to sell them.
Yeah, I wanted to see Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit, I thought would be a fun show anyway.
I wanted to see them too. That's the one I had to choose between them and then. But Sunday, I think the day after that was like Ginger, and then I think Pantera's playing. Well, Pantera. It's not
That
actually.
was last year.
Oh, that wasn't.
I was talking about the year before.
Oh yeah.
Actually, how long ago was that?
No, I think you're right. It was 2 years ago. I'm thinking because
Yeah, because I saw it was the year that Rob Zombie and Slipknot were there.
Do you think they were getting ready to shut Limp Bizkit down just in case? In case things got too wild, they had to shut it down.
Like Woodstock,
Yeah.
Like they're gonna tear it apart like Woodstock.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could try. It's a little more well built than Woodstock. Woodstock was like plywood. There were people like tearing the boards off.
Imagine tearing boards off.
Please stop.
There was, if you watch the documentary on that show, there's a lot more wrong with it than the Limp Bizkit part. They actually had like
it was kind of like
water
fucked from the
shortages.
beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had like water shortages and they had like overly expensive food and water, and so people were just drinking alcohol and
Out in the sun, just cooking all.
If you look
it's
close
a recipe
enough,
for disaster.
well, they had a bathroom problem too, and that was one of the reasons like
One bathroom.
people were getting mad was like they didn't have many places. I think it was, if I'm correct, there wasn't many places to use the restroom, so people were like peeing and pooping outside, and there was like a big.
if you look closely in one of the videos, you'll see Reese doing it.
No, that's too far back for me. But either way, there was a lot wrong with that Woodstock. They kind of like say that Limp Bizkit was the breaking point somehow, which I don't know how you can pin that.
Well, they have a song called "Break Stuff."
Yeah.
Well, those people were already ready.
That
to
is-
They're already
that is
ready,
the
yeah.
song they were
Are
playing
you
when they
their
were tearing
attorney or
stuff up.
something?
Probably is
You're
like one bigger
Number one fan.
riots
Yeah.
that's happened. Period.
Yeah.
It's out there. Musical riots. I think the biggest one is when Guns N' Roses refused to play on stage one time.
Why
China.
did they?
I don't know. Axl Rose didn't feel like it.
I didn't feel like it.
Axl Rose is where you
Feel like it.
he's really where you get like the stereotypes for rock stars. Is Axl Rose. Most of the stereotypes. Axl Rose is all of them, from what I've understood.
No.
Wasn't he in a plane crash or something this year or
I don't
recently?
know. I don't know much about Axl Rose anymore. My dad could tell you everything. He still loves all that. I heard that him trying to sing though.
Yeah, you should interview Reese's dad.
Yeah, you get some wacky responses. I mean, he'd be like, "These kids need to play more '80s rock." You know what I mean? Just
Put a little bit of twang in there.
Yeah,
you know?
tell us that if we did covers, we'd make a lot of money.
he has a really weird music taste. It's like Def Leppard and what's that guy called? Lady Boy, Party Boy.
Lady boy.
Party-
What am I thinking?
What is your
of?
dad
Yeah.
into?
Yeah. Def Leppard. That's a real weird band to like, right?
No, not just Def Leppard. What is it? Oh my gosh. I used to give him shit about it too. I can't remember who it is. But he listens to like them, AC/DC, Kiss, and then he listens to like Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears.
Wow,
I was not
that's
expecting
weird.
The Backstreet Boys.
Yeah,
that just kind of
it's
came out
kind
of
of weird. He came around to like.
That's kind of cool though. It's like a wide, very wide.
Oh yeah, he came back around to the earliest like pop bands really late in his lifetime, and now he like loves them.
Yep.
He likes, but he likes
dances.
Rage Against the Machine for whatever reason. Rage Against the Machine is like his favorite. I would say heavy band. That's his heaviest probably. Is Rage Against the
Whoa.
Machine. Yeah, I mean that's pretty heavy for him. That's heavier than Def Leppard
Yeah, that's true.
or Van Halen. I mean, I guess Van Halen is kind of heavy if you don't listen to the vocals. You know what I mean? You just listen to the guitar riffs.
If you only listen to one part, yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you only listen to one part, they have some double bass in Hot for Teacher. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's close enough. Everyone taps now, so
So
it's metal.
I want to ask, what do you guys like? So outside of like metal and the band and stuff, what do you guys like do like just generally for fun or just that has literally nothing to do with metal at all that you think that you just do for fun?
Reese lives metal, so
I mean, me, I am pretty much a family man now. I mean, I go to the park with my son and play with my dogs, and I don't know, I've gone some camping trips and stuff like that, but it's definitely been a huge change for me lately. And I mean, like Nathan's getting old enough, we're going to the park a lot, you know what I mean? Well, I guess something I do that's like specifically me, I like working out a lot. I like going to the gym, working out. Oh yeah. And we'll play a little bit of basketball. Like I'll pick Nathan up to like shoot the hoops, then Cindy will watch it and I'll do a little workout. You know what I mean? That's my biggest hobby outside of playing guitar is I keep hitting the chair.
Yeah.
I like to lift.
Yeah,
things.
this guy's an actual provider for his family.
Get a load of this guy.
Loser.
I don't know. That's why I listen to a lot of my music and get in the zone and stuff. Is I'm lifting weights. I love lifting weights. So it's just something. It's something I can't put down either. It's like a drug. It's like one of those
It's
things.
a good habit.
Yeah.
Just working out, so.
Yeah,
It is.
I don't do anything. I go to work and I come home. That's it.
Braden
But
kind of does. I
also-
tried lifting weights for a little bit.
Yeah.
He was getting into it.
He got hurt once and stopped.
No, actually, I did get hurt and I kept going and I got hurt more.
Then he stopped.
Yeah.
Hey, it
messed
can
up.
happen though. It's like one of those things. Until you get to a certain point, there is always a risk.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
If you don't know your body well enough yet, I mean, there's always a
Yeah.
risk.
I'm 38. I'll be 39 this year, so I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Because I remember I went.
Yeah, these boys are. Are you 30 now, or are you gonna?
I'm 30, yeah.
He's 30. He's gonna be 30 Wednesday.
Is that when I turn 30?
I think
You know
on the
better than me.
11th.
Birthday coming up?
Yeah, March 11th. I'll turn 30. I think. Is it DJ? DJ has like.
Yeah, his is like actually in a week, I think.
Yeah, DJ's is like right after or before mine.
DJ Funny Bone?
Mm-hmm.
No, dude. Zoom.
I'm DJ Funny. Everybody look up DJ Funny Bone on TikTok and
No,
Instagram.
this
Yes.
is the wrong thing to plug.
No, it's DJ Funny Bone.
Might as well bring up Scott Rogers next.
Scott Rogers. Look up.
can't
He
even
blocked
watch his
me.
video.
You're
And I can't-
blocked.
yeah.
You're
I've never
blocked
heard of
from
it.
watching
Is it
him.
like a YouTuber or?
Yeah, they're really
He's
funny.
He's on TikTok. He's on
I feel like I should.
everything.
It's brilliant.
You've seen him.
It's not.
If
I
you're
don't
on
know, I don't know
TikTok,
if we can
you've
really go
seen it.
into this without saying things.
Oh,
Like,
hopefully
it's-
he
I
sees
could
it.
always delete stuff out the book.
Okay.
I should have said
But
that.
as soon as you see it, we'd be like, oh, that's why they were talking about.
Why?
Yeah, Reese. Why?
Because he raps.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
That's the AI raps. Either, what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about birthdays. Okay, whatever. You know, DJ's actually my stepbrother? No.
Yeah, I did know that.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's weird that you guys do stepbrother stuff.
I know. Sometimes you just get stuck.
I was to say, you just happen to get
Step
stuck.
bro. What are you doing, step bro?
Trying to get the laundry out of there and just happen to get
Yeah.
Yeah. Just underneath the table for
There
no
happens to
reason.
be a bottle of Lou conveniently right next to you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But-
30.
Well, so what I do is honestly, I practice bass a couple times a week. I know you said outside of metal, but trying to keep up is kind of hard when you've never played an instrument. I mean, obviously I've listened to it. I mean, that's why, but like never played an instrument. And I picked up the bass just because Brady just said, well, why don't you just try it? And every instrument I've tried, I hated. I didn't want to do it. But the bass is just something different. I just really like it. So I practice a couple times a week to try to like catch up.
Yeah. That's good though, especially like you're like you really want to do it. You're like locked into it. You know.
Yeah.
It's way easier to like practice when you're just like you want that.
And I remember I was told at the very beginning, like don't get discouraged because like you're not going to see very much progress, and then all of a sudden you'll see progress, and that kind of is what happened to me. Like I'm still not obviously nearly as good as these two, but like I kind of got over that hump, and then like just started playing a little bit better and feeling a little bit more confident, and it's just, I mean, it's fun to play now that I know kind of how to do it a little bit better. But outside of that, man, I work, and then I like riding bicycles too, by the way.
Like actual bikes.
Yeah, bicycles. Yeah, they're kind of cool.
It's hard to have fun, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I times where like it feels like you have to sacrifice one thing or another. Because I remember when I was like before I was married, before I was even dating Cindy, and I'd like go to the bar. You would talk to somebody. They'd have an ambition, but then you would like I would like go home and like I don't know. I would like play guitar or something. You know what I mean? Whatever. I would like work on it and I would like hit them up. Like I remember some people would ask me to jam, then they wouldn't come over and they'd be at the bar again. They would talk about it and just like this repeating cycle of them being stuck in that room and have these thoughts when they're drinking, but then they just don't do it. I just feel like, I mean, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with if you don't really want to do it, whatever. I mean, I like daydreaming a little bit too, but. Yeah,
yeah, it gets to a certain point. It's like, all right.
Yeah, at some point,
agree.
there's like a threshold for me. You know what I mean? Like, well, why don't we just go work out? You know what I mean? Someone's like talking about getting in shape all the time. You know what I mean? Like if
They
that's
stop
your
talking
mission,
about it and actually, yeah.
you just got. I mean, you just got to start somewhere. There's always like, for me, it seems like 3 months. 3 months at anything, any hobby, any physical activity, whatever it is like the hardest part is like the first 3 months, because like there's like the hump of getting over if it's like soreness or like the coordination, and then there's like the habit making that happens like at the end of the third month.
I think it's also a thing to where like with anything like that, like or even playing any instruments, like if you accept the fact that like the first few months are just not gonna be fun.
Yeah, because
Just accept it. It's way
It's
easier to do.
miserable. I remember, what was it? The very first practice I went to, man,
Yeah,
I
you
was,
hardly played anything.
yeah, it was rough. Well, also too, I didn't really know how to.
Yeah.
And that was really rough. And like, I just was like, man, I don't know, I don't want to do this anymore because it felt really awkward and stuff. But honestly, they've been really supporting and stuff, and it's been like, now that I know a little bit more and I'm a little bit better, sometimes I feel like there are certain parts where I do come up with something that is okay. I guess I wouldn't say great, but like okay. And so that's definitely like the 3 month mark. I mean, that makes sense because, man, it was miserable. Like I did not want to come to practice anymore because I was like, man, I'm just going to be embarrassed. But
but so like part of it, I think part of anything is like things that are worth doing just suck most of the time until like you get to like certain like moments. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I feel like that's how everything is. Like most of you have to learn to like the part that sucks.
and
You
and
know?
the it
That's
makes
part of
it makes it a lot easier because like I said, like I kind of have a different musical taste than these two on some things, but I would say the stuff that we've been doing with these new songs, I think are instrumentally just, I really, man, I really jam to them. Like I love it. I mean, I think it's something that somebody can get something out of each one of these songs. It sounds good. I mean, it just sounds really good.
So this is something I didn't really touch on in the sound part, but we do try, even though we're like, I call it death metal because there's definitely parts that are like extreme enough to be called death metal, but we try to keep it semi-open to like breakdowns, slams, you know what I mean, a little bit of outside influence, you know what I mean, some clean guitar parts, you know, and stuff like that. But like, oh, how's I going to articulate this?
Well,
Saying, you know what I mean? Because there's more to it than just like death metal. We like the, because some bands you'll be like we can't do any breakdowns. You know what I mean? That's just
Well, it's just like,
Like a feel thing.
I get it. You have to have a certain genre, or to be classified as something. But I think sometimes you can really limit yourself if you say, "Hey, we are only this or we only that." Like, why not? Like, if you think of a part and it sounds good, why not use it? I mean, no matter if you don't classify that part as a more of like a death metal or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think the labels matter more for like booking. To be honest with you, like,
Yeah,
when people
yeah.
book these tours, they use the labels because like if you had like an August Burns Red show and you say everyone's metalcore, but you have like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you have Defeated Sanity in the set, it might come across as a little weird. And there's like a
Like
slamming
what?
brutal death metal band. You probably could put that in August Burns Red show, but
Well-
might not. No, you know what I mean. But like that's how they mix and match it. They have these booking agencies. They're like, well, what are you? So we know where to group you.
Well, what was it? Twisted, something like that. Played with who?
Yeah,
What was?
they opened up for Motionless.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't make any sense. I mean, Twisted is way different than what Motionless did.
And a lot of bands are branching out now. There's a lot of tours. Like Dying Fetus has basically said that they will not tour with a bunch of death metal bands again
Yeah.
because they want to branch out a little bit. And they've actually said that they know their fans hate it, but they have seen results from it. You know what I mean? They're touring with more bands, more in the vein of like Chelsea Grin, Shadow of Intent, which I mean, there's so many people that just like I know I understand at one point.
Well, what genre is Dying Fetus?
They're like slamming, brutal death metal, whatever you want to call it.
With like 13 subgenres for
Yeah,
it.
because they've always been doing the slams, but they're not like slam because slam just does slams.
Yeah.
But they're like, I mean, they're just like aborted probably. Probably can call them grindy at times, you know. But like, I mean, I understand some people don't like deathcore because it's a little sterile sounding. I guess is what because like everything kind of sounds like it's produced a little too much.
Yeah.
That's what turns some death metal fans off. But at the same time, I don't know why people are mad about certain bands succeeding. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that
doing
makes
better.
sense.
Yeah.
Because Dying Fetus is doing better than they've ever done. You know what I mean? And they're just touring with some deathcore bands. And deathcore bands are fun to see live. I don't know if you should put 8 back to back. I didn't care for that. You know what I mean? They are fun to see live. I mean, I've got Shadow of Intent opened me back up to like liking deathcore a lot.
They are really good.
Yes.
I do like
Shadow
them.
of Intent, and I remembered how much I like Card Effects off of that. And you know, I mean, all of a sudden I'm just like a deathcore fan again. But before then, I was a little iffy on it. But Shadow of Intent. has,
Well,
like,
you get
changed
those.
for me.
You get those certain bands though. Like you just. I mean, even if you're a fan of just one specific genre or whatever, that will surprise you. Like, was it Wormhole?
Yeah.
You sent some stuff from Wormhole, and that's like definitely not
Yeah.
my normal
It's like a
thing.
slam band, but they have like just crazy like guitar parts.
Yeah, and I mean they just sound good, and that's not normally my thing. So
Well, sometimes the context is
That's
wrong.
how it starts.
Yeah, it is how it starts. Sometimes the context is wrong. It's like some people don't think they like black metal, but then they'll hear like the starter bands. There are starter bands for a genre, like Dimmu Borgir or Belphegor or Behemoth. I feel like
You
are
don't go
starter
straight into
bands.
just like brutal death metal.
Yeah.
Like this is
But that's what I'm saying. But then you like start hearing the more obscure black metal bands, and black metal's a little weird. Sometimes you like the more obscure black metal bands. Sometimes you don't. You know what I mean?
then you start going into the
Yeah.
mayhem and stuff.
It just depends how deep you want to go. But like you might listen to Dying Fetus, but then you might like the slams and stuff, and you want more of it. And you look up slamier bands, and you find Devourment. You know what I mean?
You Google slamier bands.
I don't know, dude. You might look up top 10 slam bands. You know what I mean?
Evanescence or something.
Because you hear that Dying Fetus.
Evanescence, yeah, that's a slam band.
I found
Oh, yeah.
Devourment though, or I
Evanescence?
found Devourment and a couple other ones that were just like way more extreme than Dying Fetus in the
Like
sense that,
AC/DC?
mostly slams. You know what I mean? It's a very raw
AC/DC,
recording.
honestly, they're too heavy
Yeah,
for me.
they scare me.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
East
But you know
Standard
what
is
I mean.
scary.
you just break the threshold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like if you start at certain points, it's a lot harder to get into it. Like if you start with like Wormed, which is not Wormhole, but it's like a very obscure like slam technical band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're probably not gonna like it.
I was thinking with certain bands as well as like some people can't like they'll have a trouble getting into them, but if you're like an actual like musician or artist, there's also part of like the musicianship that you're like liking because that's what you like about it too. It's just like
Yeah. There's a lot of bands like that actually. There's a lot of bands where like I'm like I don't know, it's a little hit or miss on vocals, but man, the guitars and drums are just
Yeah,
so
like
good.
Dream Theater is a perfect example for that.
Dream Theater is a perfect example where everyone's good except the singer. I don't care for it. I mean, there's sometimes where I'm like, this isn't too bad, but then he like. I
Then
don't
he
know.
starts singing.
Well, I'm
Do
just
you
talking
think
about
he's gonna
some-
watch this and
some
cry
of
because
the
Reese said that?
Maybe I don't think James LeBree's gonna see this. Honestly, that's why Symphony X is the alternate version though for me. Like Symphony X is like the thing the problems I have with Dream Theater they just remove. Their songs aren't too long. The singing isn't too bad. You know what I mean? It's still not one I'm a fan of, but they're a lot better. Michael Romeo I think is a better guitar player too. I love Michael Romeo. He's one of my favorites. He's probably my top 3 right now. He's
Show him
really
your Michael Romeo tattoo.
He's really good though. He's kind of opened me up to like a little bit more power metal, but they're not strictly power metal. So
So here recently, I've been trying to like expand like my things, like we were talking about earlier, and that's why I think it just only because of like TikTok. I think I saw I didn't know about that band Feeling Flesh. That's from here.
Yeah.
I had no clue, and I was like, what? So I've been in those guys, and then there was a couple Swinguia Sabag. I don't even know how to say that fucking name.
we went and saw them too.
It's because of that one song that went viral, and I started going down the rabbit hole, and I was like, oh, this is
I
sick.
can't remember how I found them. I remember I found them one day, and I was like, it's just girthy. And then we saw them live, and I was like, that's what they're doing. Because I didn't realize that they had. So they have and they I think they even switched off. They have a guitar player that's using like one of them octave pedals to be a bass player, and I think they even switched who was doing it. But their bass, all their bass is just like guitar octave pedal. They don't have a bass player. And I noticed it in one of the recordings that it sounded like a super weird lo-fi bass, and it's because it's a guitar.
It's kind of like how Loath does. I don't know if you know about those guys, but
It works though, dude.
Yeah.
Like it sounds a certain way. It's different. I don't know if you would want to use it for every recording, but it is their signature sound, and it works with their high pingy snare, and then everything else is just girth. Everything, because they were really good live. I can't remember who they played with. Sanskobog. They played with cattle decapitation. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I can't even remember who was in between. Oh shit, no, who was in between them?
I don't know.
I don't remember either. Either way,
It wasn't ingested, was it?
nah, it was. It wasn't ingested. It wasn't ingested. I can't believe you remember.
I remembered.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
That's
you're
because
losing your touch.
I am losing my touch. I remember it was Sanskobog with cattle decapitation. They were awesome though. I was really
Where'd you see them at?
not Diamond Ballroom.
Diamond?
Yeah, they were really fun, and I just got into them recently too. I never had heard of the old school death metal revival bands until then, because I guess that's what they're a part of. Them and like 200 Stab Wounds and was it Frozen Soul?
What?
Frozen Soul, yeah.
You ever
I
heard
just heard it. I just found them like 3 weeks ago.
Gate Creeper. You never heard of 200 Stab Wounds?
No.
200 Stab Wounds is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Skin Milk.
Meat Canyon always wears the 200 stab wounds on his.
Yeah, they grew really hard. They're actually, I like them better than Sanskobog actually. They have some really good guitar solos. For what they are, because usually you don't hear really good guitar solos in like a groove, like slammy band like that. You know what I mean? And their song titles are perfect. Like I said, Skin Milk. I don't know. Some of them are just like catchy. I just like the song titles.
Is that the album art where he's standing in front of a mirror?
The guy has I think he has like a knife in his eye or something.
Yeah, he's standing in front of a mirror doing something. I think.
I think that might be different.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same one. And I remember the album artwork had a guy cut up, and I thought there was like a scalpel in his eye or something. It's pretty gory. It's like a cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't really remember very well. Either way, you just need to listen to Cytotoxin.
I'll have to check them out.
I keep sending them links to Cytotoxin because it's like the best band ever.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Just keep sending me links. I will listen. I'll just keep hearing it, and eventually I'll be like, all right, now I have to listen to the album.
Don't tell Reese to send you links because he will send you a lot.
But like Cytotoxin, get this, because Archspire, their guitar player has a YouTube channel, and his wife does guitar videos with him. She's literally taking lessons from.
Oh, Dean Lamb.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know you're talking. Yeah.
She literally takes lessons from the Cytotoxin guitar player. That's like how good he is. And she's married to Dean Lamb. You know what I mean? So like there's people I've seen YouTubers, they cover like everything, but they'll say they didn't cover that Radius. Oh my gosh, Radius Generis. However the fuck you say the first song title of that album. They won't cover that song because they say it just causes too many like. It can cause you like wrist injuries or like that muscle dystonia or
It
whatever.
hurts.
Yeah, like.
Or you're just going and going, and then it just kind of.
Yeah. I don't know. There's certain guys that get that. I never really understood. Because,
You have to be good to get that.
had to be good. It is a hard song, dude. The way it opens up is just super intense.
Yeah, but it's always skinny, tiny guys doing it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was wondering if it's
Not like
maybe
big, meaty hand apes like.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if you only work out one muscle, you know what I mean? Like, because these guys are just playing guitar for like 8 hours a day. I wonder if that has something to do with it. That tendon being a little weaker. I don't know. Because they always get something weird, like that one guy whose finger like curls and he can't uncurl it.
Yeah, he has to wear a glove.
Yeah, to like trick his fingers, like it's like a neural. It's a neurological.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Christian Munzer from Necrophagus and Obscura and Spawn of Possession. He got a neurological disease from playing songs like that, and like his middle finger curls real bad if his fingers think he's playing guitar for some reason. He broke it down.
His body is begging.
It's like,
If his fingers think they're playing guitar.
Yeah,
He wears that sensory glove though. That's what he says. So like it doesn't feel. It's a weird concept. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but I mean he got it. You know, he has the glove. I don't know. I mean it's probably real, but it's different. His finger curls like this, like super extreme. If he's playing,
dude, that's wild.
I know that, but supposedly the Cytotoxin songs are like that. But their breakdowns and slams are amazing. Like with the Geiger counter at the end of that song, you remember, where it has the Geiger counter to the drums? That's like the first time I'd ever heard anything like that. And it's like, because you didn't hear many original concepts with a Geiger counter and a drum. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about putting some kind of like ridiculous sample or something like that in?
Well, we did put a shotgun blast at the end of one of our songs.
Yeah, Evan did.
Yeah.
Shotgun blast.
It's really stupid.
We're getting there. I'm
It's
getting
funny.
better with
Makes
the.
us laugh.
I'm getting better with the dog because we did want to do at least a bass drop in Titanic 2, and These song titles sound so ridiculous.
Yeah, Titanic 2 Judgment Day.
I made a song about a xenomorph and a Terminator being on the Titanic in a sequel to Titanic 2 because they're all James Cameron movies, you know.
We're just trying to get our message out there, you know what I mean? We want people to know and to hear our lyrics. We've got something to say about life, and we feel like Titanic 2 Judgment Day is how we get our views out there, our message.
It's more fun writing that way, though. Ridiculous fantasy concepts. I don't know. I don't really want to be like the guy who's writing about, like, butchering my girlfriend with the, you know what I mean? And, like, the weird stuff that, like, Chris Barnes would write about.
Yeah.
I know that they're, like, doing it from a horror movie guy perspective, but I don't know how.
We were going to put a sample in Titanic 2 of Arnold saying, "My body, my choice," from, what was it, Junior or something?
Yes, when he's pregnant.
Yeah.
I want my baby.
Yeah.
That one. Yes. But that wasn't the actual sample we were going to go with, but we're going to go with the lady. What's he say to Jack at the end when she's dying or when he's dying?
Oh, like Never Let Go or something?
Yeah, we're going to put that in the bass drop and then start the breakdown.
Oh,
Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? Never let go, or I can't remember what she says.
I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go, and she does, and he sings.
Yes, that was what we wanted to use. That scene, and then the bass drop for Titanic 2's breakdown.
Yep.
I thought it was perfect. But I don't know. I need to learn how to make a bass drop first. I haven't made one yet. I think you're supposed to download something to do that. Have you done that?
Let's go to LimeWire.
LimeWire.
You can make one Vital is what I use, honestly. But.
I'll have to look it up because I had a sample on my default thing I bought, and then I lost it. Like, I tried to find it, and it's like, once you get rid of that default sample, there's not a save file for it. You know what I mean? I dragged something in and covered it up, and there's, like, no file unless the software I didn't download it when I downloaded the software.
Well, if you can't figure it out, you can send it to me, and I could put it into Premiere Pro and add a bass drop.
Oh, yeah.
And then just
I'll figure
export
it out eventually. I just need to find something. I'll even have to.
You still using Reaper? Or?
Yeah. I don't. So, the Razor Edit thing is a lifesaver, dude.
What is it?
The Razor Edit, where you can like select everything and move it and all that.
That must be new because I rage quit Reaper basically like 3 years ago. I still have it because I had some projects on there, and I go back to it every now and then just to like check.
I had thought about the differences, and then there's a Razor Edit option where you can drag it over everything and move everything instead of one thing at a time, and it is amazing. You can even copy things that way too. So you have a whole section that sounds right, and none of the others sound right. You can cut them. You can copy all the drums and all the guitar and everything with this Razor Edit thing, and you move it all over as once, so you don't have to line up these takes again. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know if anything else has that, but I don't remember, because every time we've been in the studio, no one's ever done it that way. They always have to like drag each individual one over there, and usually it's like, well, fuck, now the drums are over this way too much, you know what I mean? And then
yeah, and it just gets frustrating.
Yeah, the Razor Edit thing's super convenient. It's actually saved my life a couple times last week.
saved your life.
Oh yeah, dude. I would have had to redo Anathema if I didn't have that fucking thing, dude. I can't even remember what part, but something got covered up, and I had to like delete all my tempo markers and move stuff, and it was like, oh fuck. Then everything's at wrong playback rates, and I almost ended my life. No, I'm just kidding. It was bad though. It was like, oh my gosh, this is such a mess. I just want to track guitars. You know what I mean? I thought everything perfect. You know what I mean? But then I was like, man, I can't play my whole guitar part because it's cutting off. And it's because the drums are hitting underneath other drums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh shit. I really hope that we have the album out by like late summer.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because I think where I'm going a lot quicker now, but I'm trying to quad track everything.
Quad track.
Oh yeah.
That sounds good though.
It's a hurdle, but like, I don't know. I probably could show you after we're done. But like on Death Sentence, we made a song called Death Sentence because her name is Death Sentience to make it more confusing. You know what I mean? So we had a song called Death Sentence, and I got it quad tracked, and it sounded just a lot better. I don't know what it is. Like the quad tracking for me, I like how it sounds. It makes it a little bit girthier, and that's kind of what I value in a recording. It's just it sounding girthy. You know what I mean?
You guys kind of running like the same kind of like gear in the studio versus live, or you guys like change it up?
Yes, actually, I've been using. Actually, so what I try to do, since this is an active pickup, I don't even have them in camera, but I have an active pickup and I have like the coil.
I'll get some B-roll shots of it later. To add in.
You know, what I mean, it has the. I'm just gonna be in front of this camera. It has like the single coil. You know, what I mean, whatever they call those, but they don't act like the single coil pickups. They're a little bit bassier.
Those what you say? Those are Seymour Duncans. Yeah,
I think so, actually.
look like Invaders. I think.
See this little tape I put on it because the string kept getting caught underneath the string would get caught underneath the pickup, and actually
Damn, look at your strings are thicker than mine, bro. I play a bear.
they actually aren't. I'm surprised they use thicker strings than mine. I use 60s. You use 68s.
Yeah, I just
That's
switched to
all
68s. Yeah.
I have never used a 68. The 60s I think are plenty. I'm surprised you used the 68.
Well, honestly, I'm probably gonna go back down to like 64 to what it came with, because like even though it's great for me to play, bending is not an option much
Well, that's
anymore.
why I was
And then my
surprised, 'cause-
tone is kind of went away a little bit with thicker strings. But
Because even this is a set where I think this is just a 10. So it's a little bit lighter than heavy, which is awesome if you do like anything
yeah,
with leads in it. But these pickups, for whatever reason, are they're a little bit more low end. Like they're chunkier, you know what I mean? But the only thing I don't like about that is you kind of lose some of the clarity on like accents on higher strings, but they sound great for chugging. And then these pickups are obviously just mid-range monsters, you know, the active pickups.
oh EMG, yeah.
The EMG just like super hot.
Didn't you
Jackson
just
pickups.
replace them not too long ago?
I replaced the
We
volume.
run like
box.
81, 85.
I think so. But I mean, I've had this guitar since I was in high school. I bought it
Since
when
he was
I
born. He had it since he was born.
Came out with the womb
Well,
guitar.
I mean, so this is like one of the cheapest guitars I have, and it's honestly still one of the best sounding by far. It's like a $600 guitar. That one's like a $1,500 or $1,300, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's half the price. It's double the price, but like this sounds better for certain things. Still, it's a mid. This one has so much mid range. It's way better for like chords and accents and stuff. And so like I've been mixing them to where I have one. This doubled. One left, one right, and I put this one underneath it, left and right.
Using like so are you guys like when you're recording, you're using like Sims and stuff, or you're trying to do everything like we're just in the room amping up a cab and then having like
I've been using
micing up the drums and stuff, or
We did mic the drums, but I've been doing neural DSP for the Gojira amps actually.
that's what I've been using a lot.
Yeah, I like it. There's actually some really cool presets. The Carbon guy has a cool preset. This sounds just gnarly. But I've been using the neural DSP, and I mean, I don't know how much better. I mean, I probably could try mic in the cab. I don't know how much better you can really get.
Yeah.
Than the amp sims. The amp sims are honestly,
They're so far. They've come so far. It's ridiculous.
But you can literally move the mic around the cab,
Yeah.
and you can double it up, and you can do. There's so many options that it was almost overwhelming what I even wanted to do with the sim, and it's cool because you can just change it. You know what I mean? If I were to mic a cab, it'd be like, well, I could reamp. You know what I mean? If I had like an audio in coming from the back of the amp head, you know what I mean? I just recorded the DI, but instead I went with just the amp sims because you're probably gonna just change it anyway.
Yeah, it's honestly easier, and they've just cut. I mean, I had a PV Invective for a long time, and I started using Archetype Nolly a long time, like right around the time it came out, and I did not expect it, but like within 6 months, I had probably not even turned on my amp like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
That's when I was like, maybe I don't need this anymore.
I mean, the thing about the amp sims that's cool. I mean, I know some people are like, the tube amp is just. I mean, the tube amps are great.
Yeah.
I like them for shows. I still use a tube amp for a show, but I like the
The
flexibility.
versatility and
Everything. You can do all kinds of things with it. You can set. I mean, you don't even have to have an extra noise gate. You have a gate inside the of the program. You know what I mean? Or just all the different levels and the mic settings. And I mean, it's just.
You guys use like MIDI for drums or anything when like you're like just trying to feel things out, or do you like
We will the next time.
have like an E kit or something like that?
We will the next time. And I actually thought about. We were actually.
You just talked about that, like
Yeah,
right before we
talked
came
about it
here.
at the house. Because
I'm looking to get one too. So.
I was like, maybe we should buy if we can get like a dynamic drum kit at some point. You know what I mean? Or even if Evan will let us go over there and borrow his for a day or two.
The prices for decent ones have gone way down for like a decent one at least. I think.
Yeah. We just want something with a little bit of dynamics. You know what I mean? At least slightly softer hit and loud hit versus just loud hits.
Yeah.
And like, it would be better because I am not an expert at audio engineering yet, and the drums was the hardest part because like. It sounds good, and you listen back to it, and it sounds good, but like when I was going in to mix it a little bit, it's like, well, he was really well on that hi hat. Yeah. So like,
you gotta go in and fix every little velocity.
Yeah, even though all the mic
yeah.
settings are good, I can't really get rid of the hi hat in like one song. So I'm like trying to lower it as much. Like I almost have the hi hat turned off, but you can still hear it on the snare mic. You can still hear it on the cymbal mic. You can still hear it on the tom mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like fuck. You know what I mean? It's like it's just little things like that. I can see why people program drums for certain because like drums are really hard to control unless you're just an expert and you know exactly what's going to happen. It's like,
And really need like a treated room and stuff for like if you're gonna try to like record an actual set.
And that's why there's session drummers too who know exactly how to hit. You know what I mean? Like the guy from Silent Toxin is like that. Like he just is used to recording. You know what I mean? They hit a certain way, and they're just way better at being a studio drummer than anything else. You know what I mean? Because studio drumming is definitely different than live drumming. Because like live drumming, things can mesh together. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal, but in a recording setting, you kind of want to be able to isolate different variables and use. That's very hard to do. That's why I mean, even simple recordings. I mean, I know that Def Leppard does MIDI drums, and
Wait, what?
Def Leppard has that. Well, it's not every album, but I'm not sure if it became one armed or not. But like at some point,
or not.
at some well, I mean, because they had albums where he had two arms. Either way, at some point they switched to MIDI drums. And it's a Def Leppard recording. You know what I mean? That should be like an easy thing to just nail. But there's bands like them, super simple, that use MIDI drums because you just can isolate so many variables that are hard to isolate with a drum kit. The problems that you don't have with any other instrument. You know what I mean? Drums are like the one instrument I feel like you run into these problems. I don't know if you can even compare it to anything else. Maybe like
more mics, more problems.
Yeah, I was thinking.
You got to use like so many mics just to get like decent sound. And
I was gonna say
it's hard to control that.
Bass players using fingers and they have like peaks and dips in volume because of their fingers. You know what I mean? Instead of using a pick, because I guess you should use a pick for a bass recording so you don't have like volume. Because you can use a compressor, but you might just lose. The bassiness of your bass all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's delicate balance.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I love the amp sims. I was not a believer for a long time, but they're just awesome.
I'm just gonna keep talking about them all the time. Eventually, one day, I know a DJ's gonna see this. It's coming. I'm getting a modeler, and it's a little back and forth thing. But
hey, the reason, so like I can understand is like if he ever went to a studio like somewhere else. Like I remember the first time I was in the studio, or even when I went to Charles's house, I was playing through an amp modeler, and you could hear a lot of scrapiness and like
that's true.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There for a while, they're like all attack. There was like no nuance to the picking. You know what I mean? They weren't very dynamic. But like that technology has changed a lot, even in the last like 5 years.
Oh yeah,
like significantly. Like now, tube amps are almost just like a thing of the past. There's like bands, like even bands that used to be like tube amp believers have like Kempers live. You know what I mean? Like aborted.
I think that's the main thing, just for like having it live or something like that live. There's like less risk involved, kind of when you're. And it's not as heavy as like a regular tube amp, so you can just kind of,
They just go straight into the sound booth. They have their PA there, you know what I mean? As long as they're equipped. You know what I mean? You just get your little Kemper out. It's way better than getting, like, cabs. Carrying these cabs and stacking them on top of each other. Like, Jesus. The cab gets annoying sometimes.
So is that one of the main gripes of, like, going to shows is just having to do your gear, laying it in back and forth and all that? And
yeah, I mean, I really like shows. I always get nervous no matter what. I don't know what it is about me. He doesn't, but I just get anxious about everything. Even going to bed for work, I get anxious. I have to pee like 18 times. It's just I'm an anxiety-driven person. That's probably why I practice guitar so much. But like setting up drum kits does get old.
Oh yeah, setting up. You gotta take it down to leave the house. You gotta load it. Then you gotta set it up at the venue. Then you gotta take it down. Then you gotta load it. Then you gotta drag it back into the house, and then eventually set it back up for practice.
See, if we were a more popular band and we were like setting up the day before and getting to relax and tear it down at the end of the night, that might not be too bad. But like when you're like rushing onto a stage,
you got like a certain time frame, like 30 minutes to get all that.
Yeah, and they're like, you have to be off stage in 10 minutes. It's like, fuck. Okay, let's rush around, load up all the chords, make sure we don't forget anything. You know what I mean? Get everything off the stage. That's why the spot's fun too, because usually we don't have to rush around.
Yeah.
The spot's pretty lenient. Those shows where it's like 4 or 5 bands are just a fucking nightmare. No matter what, I don't care what anyone says. I mean, they can be fun for that like 35 minutes you play, but the whole like selling tickets to keep your spot and then
just anxiety inducing.
Oh yes, and then like having to set up super quick and break down, trying to share this space with a bunch of people on this side. Like 89th Street, there's all these people gears just stacked together, and like my gear ended up like being pretty much in the crowd. Like wait, yeah, I mean like it's just all these people. We had a really big show at 89th Street that had a lot of bands. You remember that? And it was a cool show, but it was like people coming in and out because it was like a revolving door. Because it was just like how would you even describe that event? It was just a guy who knew a bunch of people that wanted to have a bunch of bands play, and it was an all-day deal.
Yeah.
We were like midday, later day.
At 89th?
Yeah, it was pretty fun
Like
though,
a
but it was
little-
just a lot of bands.
A mini indoor festival, kind of.
It was cool. It was a great opportunity to sell shirts, if I remember right, shirts and stuff like that. I mean, it was fun, but like just jamming all our gear in there, and like all those bands that were in the back of the venue, like trying to get in was a nightmare. And that's the one thing I do hate about shows is having to set up and break down so quick. Gosh, damn.
I always feel bad for drummers.
Yeah.
I just know it so much. I always offer to help my bro. I'll even if there's like I don't even know who they are, and I'm just like, dude, you need help, because I just it's a lot. But
It is a lot, especially. I mean, even like a basic kit can be a lot. You know what I mean? Just to have a few toms and a few cymbals. Then you have to have your snare,
stands and all
you have
that.
to have your kick,
Yeah.
your trigger, pedals.
Module.
Yeah.
let me check and see what's going.
No.
Actually, it didn't. It actually didn't even record anything.
You wish.
All right. Well, anything you guys like want to plug or say before head out of here? Anything you got?
Well, we got an album coming out someday.
We'll probably put out so we'll know. This is part of us getting back. We need to start posting more. We need to start being more out loud. We probably should record like a practice video or something. But we are working up to playing live again. I feel like some people, just because we're a local band and haven't played, probably think we're like dead now. Yeah, they probably think we just dropped off. We've actually been working the entire time. It is some of our most challenging, most fun material yet. I like it.
Yep.
I'm going to be singing and playing for the first time in my life.
Beautiful voice. Probably the most beautiful voice I've ever heard, honestly.
It probably. I mean,
Angelic.
if people like Ryan's, mine is probably a little more on the guttural side. Maybe like the what's the other guy's name in Dying Fetus, the bald guy. It is. I feel like I sing a little bit more like that. I've been trying to work some mids and highs in there. Maybe one day I'll do clean singing. We'll get a little bit metalcore album out there, but work it in like a Legion or something. If I can get a good tone, I wouldn't mind it. Have some.
Reminds me of Evanescence. his beautiful voice.
He probably Evanescence up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Must be his favorite band.
It
But we
is.
are working up to it. We just need to get it recorded and then get him ready on bass.
We're waiting
get it
on
ready.
you.
Waiting on me.
I like how he blames everybody but himself. Like, yeah, you got Brady over here. He's just got to be done, being dumb. And then Christian over here, Christian over here, he just sucks. We got to get him going.
There's a few factors going to get going again, but we're not gonna do the same as we did before. This is the one thing I'm gonna say. We're not gonna play a bunch of random small bars or anything anymore. Because we've done that. I kind of want to do the events, even if they don't make as much money. I'd rather just kind of like do some big fun events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like open for Metallica or something.
Yeah.
Metallica.
No more
Well,
anything else.
Realistically, if we can get because I mean sometimes like Depraved got that Warbringer show. They're opening up for Warbringer. We played with Depraved. You know what I mean? The Blue Note is fun though. I wouldn't mind playing
Yeah,
the Blue
I
Note
like
again.
that.
Blue Note
sounds
here?
good there.
No, the Blue Note in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like,
It's-
what?
They don't pay anything, but the Blue Note always is packed and it's fun. The sound was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It was our best show
Yeah.
probably.
Just like a really decent venue overall.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I liked Reno's too, even though with the incidents that happened to Reno's with the keys getting locked in the truck and shit. Oh my
Yeah.
god. That was a night.
Yeah.
The
Either
keys
way,
got
That
locked in
was
the trunk?
in Dallas. Dallas.
Yeah, we played in Dallas twice. One time was a failure. One time was awesome. But anyway, we want to do stuff like that. The fun shows. I'm not doing any more VFWs, any more random dive bars. You know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna make $20, I'd rather it be a fun $20. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Yeah. It's always
Heard it here.
sometimes it's a little more than $20. Sometimes it's a little less. You know what I'm saying? But we are gonna do it again.
About 25 with inflation.
It's coming out.
Yeah.
We might need a show to like work out the kinks. It might fall apart live, singing and playing, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better place than the Elks Lodge.
yeah, I probably should have
So-
sang at the Elks Lodge.
Yeah. You should've.
But we're gonna get back to live. We're gonna get this album out, and yeah, that's the two goals.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'm thinking end of July, beginning of
Of
August.
27.
No, we're gonna have to push Christian really hard though. But that is the main goal. I mean,
Again.
we're gonna put out one more single probably. I know that two
Yeah.
singles are
To
already
get this
out.
album out, we need to push you hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're put out one more single, amp it up a little bit, maybe 2 singles. Even though that'll probably be like half the album already.
Except
Yeah.
Christian needs that.
What, Christian? You want to say something?
No, man, you got it.
No,
He's
sir.
always a smartass. He deletes his comments too. You know what I mean?
Oh.
He'll talk some shit, I'll see it, and he acts like I can't see it.
Before he sees it, he's never seen them.
I have seen all of them, actually.
All right, name them all.
That's stupid.
That's stupid.
Okay, but yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to say anyway. Do you have anything to add, guys?
Nope.
No. I mean, in all seriousness, just working on getting better and faster, because he's always like, well, maybe I can put a couple more notes in there, and like, oh, all right, Reese.
There's some cool things that, like, I thought I heard the Zenith Passage riff a certain way, but I actually am playing it way harder than he was.
Well,
doing it.
and I gotta,
It's like it's like my bad ear causing things to be the wrong way.
and I mean, you guys probably remember when you first started doing anything, like it's different playing fast versus playing good and fast. I mean, because you can get really sloppy, and that's what I try to avoid, is getting sloppy with it, and just to try to build speed. I'd rather be a little slower and
Well, that is what you do.
and that's exactly
We
it.
started out fast though.
Yeah, out the womb.
That's just
Is born 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Hard sweeping,
Yeah.
sweeps.
But like, it is a product though. Like, we try not to rush things, so we're trying to, like, even if it is a local band stuff, I like it to be what it can be when you hear it
Yeah.
and when you see it. So
Yeah.
if we take a little bit more time, it's not going to bother me, you know. Because that's kind of how the album is. We probably could have rushed out something immediately.
And then you would like, then you would have felt like not great about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want it to be, even if it's my first time, I want it to be a great recording. Whatever my version of great is, you know what I mean, or our version, we'll listen to it over and over again, redo it,
Yeah. Something
and
we're proud
get it
of.
out there.
yeah.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, guys, this is Sentience, and this is Heavy Oklahoma. Catch us later.
Just start farting.
Oh.